action and do digital transformation now. These steps give you an incremental, real-world migration strategy for industrial IoT with software, hardware, and standards that can address those roadblocks. I would caution that it's not just a matter of installing something new. It won't help if we replace our old system with a newer system that still cannot scale. But if we architect our system in the right way, scalable IoT is definitely within our reach. We've broken it down into 6 easy steps that you can take. The first being, we can simply add a new system, like adding ignition in parallel to your existing system. We can easily get that data from, once we get value from that, give that to an MQTT server using MQTT transmission. We can also add edge computing to push polling out to the edge of the network. We can add new devices and sensors to solve challenges where we need to get access to data that we don't currently have. We also need to get data out to more people. And then lastly, getting data up to the cloud and leveraging the cloud. So by following these 6 steps, we can build a modern system that fits your needs and runs alongside your existing system. In fact, once you've actually gone through all the steps, you start realizing the benefits and you've been providing data to more people internally, that often the legacy systems will get phased out. And then you will be transitioned to using a more modern, scalable operational system. Let's take a look at these solutions in action. I'm going to do a small little demonstration. And what we have here is we actually have Ignition Edge already on site, connected to a couple of PLCs, and we have that data being published up. And in our case, we have Ignition in the cloud, but you could have that going to a corporate location or even at the plant, getting that data up, where then we have the central Ignition server here that's connected to that MQTT server, and we've had those tags discovered. So we've already built a little dashboard screen of the information that's coming up. But this, so what we've seen here is that kind of decoupling. Now, what I want to do is go into Designer for a moment, and we can see in here that with the MQTT engine, so far we've discovered that we have this one edge node, the Ignition Edge here with these PLCs. There's this generic and this dairy simulation with a bunch of tags that are coming in. Now, these are just simulation values here on this particular case, but we have these tags coming in, and we can see those values right there. But we've only discovered one. And so there are now ways where we can bring in new devices. We can bring in new edge computing systems. We can plug them into the MQTT server where we can auto-discover those and start taking advantage of that data and doing some amazing things with it, as well as getting that information to the cloud. We want to show how simple and easy that happens to be. So what we've got set up for you is Benson from Opti22 has some Epic controllers and Rio that has connected to some data, so some legacy brownfield PLCs, as well as the Rio being brand new I/O and sensors, having that data publishing up to an MQTT server. And so what we can do here is have this ignition the central ignition system connect to that same MQTT server that they're publishing to, so we can discover that information, turn it into tags in Ignition, and start being able to build dashboards very quickly with that. So what we're going to do is actually go back to the Ignition configuration, and this is where we're connected to various MQTT servers. So right now I'm connected to my local MQTT server. It's on this machine. But now what I want to do is actually go enable the connection to Opti22's MQTT server that they have. If I go edit this, we're going to enable this setting, save our changes. Now I'm going to be connected to that. Once we're connected, we're going to auto-discover all the tags. And you'll notice over here, remember, we just had one thing. It was Ignition. Now we have 3 others: Demo Centers, Opti22, Optimation. And in there, we have all of these devices and tags that we discovered. So if I look at this Opto Turbine example, the group Epic, connected to an Allen Bradley controller, I've got some tags coming in here that we can work with. And so we can easily then put alarming and history. We can easily inject this to the cloud. We can do so much more with that. And of course, we can build dashboards to get that information to people. So here I've got a perspective project with a little dashboard. And I'm going to go ahead and build a dashboard from the runtime so that we can customize that and make it our own. So I'm going to go ahead and edit this. And the first thing we'll do is bring in a tank that is there. So I'll add a widget. Here I'll use a tank. And once we have that added, I'm going to go and configure it to, I'm going to call this level. And we're going to go and select one of those tags that came from that Opto22. So we're going to go down to actually this Rio demo, and we're going to go to Groove RIO. So this is the Rio product here. Going down to its channels, we're going to see this level, get that value and bring it in and save that. So now I've got the level there. So Benson, if you wouldn't mind, let's take a look at your demo setup and maybe just describe a little bit about it as well.
Yeah, sure. So just as you described, we've got the Rio here, and I've got a little potentiometer there that's simulating this tank level. And indeed, we have selected to publish that data into infrastructure, not only its current level, but its max and mins as well, which are also stored down on the Rio. So I'm going to actually step up from my microphone here, walk over, and we're going to turn that potentiometer and see how this changes in real time. Tell me it worked, Travis.
Perfect. We went down 34% on that.
That's awesome. That's how it's supposed to work.
I want the audience to realize there could have been another 10, 20, 30 applications all into that same MQTT infrastructure that they would have been informed that Rio just showed up. They would have been informed that it's got a level IO point of its process variables. So everybody else could have discovered that as well. So that is literally a plug and play implementation.
I just wanted to make a point that your system doesn't know the IP address of that Rio. In fact, it doesn't know where it is. The fact that I'm on a network hanging off of a Verizon radio, publishing this data into infrastructure, all you care about is connecting to the broker and getting that data. I'm taking care of publishing it up there, and there's no open ports on this system. We have a 100% secure infrastructure here.
Exactly. And not only are we getting live data very efficiently up here, you see how fast it was changing as we were changing that potentiometer, but we can also do control. And so let's put in here an actual toggle switch. So I'm going to bring a toggle switch, and I'm going to configure this to go, call it toggle, and I'll configure it to go to now the Opto Turbine, the Groove Epic, the AB controller, and there is a stack light on there that we want to be able to turn on and off. So we're going to go ahead and save that. And so now, Benson, if you can, I don't know if you're already showing the camera or not on that, but we can actually show the control and how from here I can write to that and have that being sent to the broker, I think ultimately over that cellular connection, go all the way down to the Epic, out to that PLC where we can turn that thing on and off.
Yes, indeed. You're going to be talking now to the Epic, which is using Ignition Edge and the built-in drivers to talk to that PLC that's over on the left-hand side of the screen. And indeed, when you press that toggle switch, that's going to turn on a stack light that's right above that enclosure where the PLC exists. How about that?
So very nice and easy. And I assume, are you showing the camera on this as well?
You should be seeing the webcam currently, yes.
Okay,
Yep.
Perfect. So you can see us turn that stack line on and off and how fast and how efficient that really is. And this is the kind of power that we're getting here. You know, we get this IO, we follow these steps, we can start really taking advantage of it in a lot of unique ways, whether we're building dashboards, whether we're delivering it to the cloud, whether we're just capturing data, historizing, and being able to visualize data that we weren't able to see before, but do it in a way that's entirely scalable. And so that no matter how many more sensors we want to add, how many more data we want to get, we had an infrastructure that's going to be able to accept that and allow us to take advantage of that data.